Greetings, how are you? I hope everyone is doing well. We all trying to stay safe and healthy. So, I'm going to do some video training, and hopefully this will help you. Today we're going to discuss the handgun safety rules. All right, and for those who are new to safe handling, ownership, marksmanship, I'll be putting out some tutorials and training videos. For those who may have forgotten, these videos will be used as a reminder. Okay? All right. Today we're going to do the safety rules. All right. First and foremost, anytime you have your handgun around you, you want to make sure that you're using it, or any gun, but preferably the handgun on this particular one. You want to use it in a safe fashion. You want to carry it in a safe fashion. All right. The first rule of handgun safety is always keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Always. Always keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. This is going to prevent accidental discharges and negligent discharges. I know that when people get a gun in their hand, the first thing they want to do is they'll get it and put that finger on that trigger. Okay? Keep that finger off that trigger. Keep it on the side of the frame. Don't put your finger on that trigger until you're ready to shoot something or someone. And this will help prevent most of your accidents. All right? Next, the next rule we're going to discuss is always point the gun in a safe direction. Now, you may ask, what is a safe direction? A safe direction is if by some act of God the gun goes off. 0 personal injury, minimum property damage. So anytime you have a gun in your hand, you want to hold it in a fashion to where if a ghost come in the room and pull the trigger, it's not going to hit anyone, and it may, destroy some flooring. But other than that, nothing. Okay? The next safety rule is always keep your gun unloaded until you're ready to shoot. Now, there's a difference between having it in a ready capacity and storing. This is more for those who store their gun. If you don't have it underneath your pillow, your dresser, underneath your car seat, in your glove box, if you don't have it in a position where you can get to it and be ready to use it, then you should unload it. Drop the magazine or open your cylinder, take your cartridges or your bullets out, if you have a revolver, and store the gun. If it's magazine fed, drop the mag, clear the chamber, store the gun. Like I say, if it's on your in your dresser, on your bedside, underneath your pillow, underneath your mattress, couch cushion, bed, whatever you place it for use, emergency use, you can keep it loaded at that point. All right. The reason you want to keep it unloaded when you store it is because a lot of times, let's just say someone who cleans your gun or cleans it regularly. If you keep the ammo in a freshly cleaned gun or oiled gun for a long period of time, the oil can get on the bullets, and it can render malfunctions on the gun if the oil seeps into the bullets and start mixing with your primer. Okay, start mixing with your gunpowder. All right, it can cause certain malfunctions, and in these malfunctions, You have a misfire, hang fire, or a squib load. A misfire is when you pull the trigger and nothing happens. All right? That's a lot of times either a manufacturer's fault, mistake, or because of that oil from your gun has got into your primer or your gunpowder. And because of that, it will induce a type of malfunction. So you have your misfire, then you have your hang fire. When you squeeze the trigger, it doesn't immediately go off. It's like a slight delay. And sometimes it could be a major delay. I've seen both. But when you pull that trigger and there's a delay, instead of a pow, it's more of a click, pow. Now, that's called a hang fire. A squib load is when you pull the trigger and the hammer hits the primer or the firing pin hits the primer and it leaves the barrel with less than normal velocity. That's a squib load. So instead of a pow or a bang, it's more like a poof. All right? So, and it will give off a distinct different sound. So storing it and having it ready to use, two different conditions. All right? Also, there's another rule where knowing your target and what's beyond it. All right? It's very important to know your target and what's beyond it, especially if you're in a self-defense scenario out in public where there's a large traffic of people going on, right? Or there's people traffic. And if you happen to have to engage in a life-threatening scenario, self-defense scenario, deadly force scenario, and you shoot someone and your bullet exit that person and hit someone else, you are also responsible at that point. So you would, if you have to shoot someone, the optimum conditions would be where there's no one else on the other side of that person. But you can always control that. So you have to know your target or your threat and what's beyond it. And that'll help reduce liability or vicarious liability on your part. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you next time. If you have any questions or suggestions, go ahead and post them or send them directly to me. That's jc@jcshegog.com, jc@jcshegog.com. Remember, pay attention or pay the consequences. Peace of victory.